Hi, this is Jim Scroggins with the Texas Nissan Truck Meet. You're listening to the Nissan Nation podcast.
Recorded live, coast to coast, it's the Nissan Nation podcast. From camping, racing, and all points in between. The NNP is your Nissan Nation podcast. Now start your engines and welcome in the hosts, David and Danny.
Howdy-ho, everybody. This is the Nissan Nation podcast, along with my co-host, the big deal, Daniel Gruters. How you doing tonight, Dan?
What's that? I was signed up for the Datsun podcast, I say. What are you doing at the Nissan?
Well, Grumpy Dan, you know, it's been Nissan since the middle 80s, so I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
It's a punctual 80s, is what I say. There's this new character that I see running around this podcast area. Who's this JR character you're bringing in?
That's right. We'd like to introduce our third monkey. His name is JR Carey. How you doing tonight, Mr. Carey?
Well, hello there. I'd like to say good day to everyone. I've been busy doing all my other podcasts that I've been doing, talking about presidential debates. I've been doing all sorts of automobile races. I've been doing all sorts of other... I'm sorry, sir. I'm trying to talk here. If you give me just one moment, I'd like to finish up.
Grumpy Dan,
Okay,
you're
I'm
just
done.
going to have to take your turn, sir.
I'm all finished.
Door!
Sir, we don't have any doors. This is all digital. Sir?
Are you cold, sir?
Sir? We didn't... He's not dead, is he?
I don't know what you boys are talking
You
about.
cold?
Here on the Nissan Datsun podcast, we're nothing but a bunch of boys talking about the new Datsun 240Z.
Well, tonight we are going to talk about that Z, sir.
What is going on, Nissan Nation? That was the comedy stylings of the three amigos here. Dan Gruters, what is going on, buddy?
Not much, big game. Dave, great to be on episode 4 of the
Quattro,
Nissan Nation podcast.
Quattro.
Big number 4.
There
apparently is still people listening to us, which is a huge win in my book. That someone after 3 episodes, someone wanted to listen to us. But the big win, I think, is the addition of the third
Drum
amigo,
roll.
JR, the big black Carey.
What's
up, JR?
What is going on, JR?
What's up, everybody? How's it going?
The legend in his own mind, JR Carey.
In my own mind, and only my own mind. No one else's.
So
Because I'm
right now,
truly not a legend.
yeah, right now we have the big deal Dave, the big game Dave.
That's right.
Big deal Danny and the legend JR Carey. I like the sound of all those.
I do, man. It is nice. It is nice. So, what is
Equally
going on?
Maleficent names.
What is going on in each of you guys' world? What's going on, JR? Anything fun in the Nissan world for you?
Man, just, I'm sitting around killing the winter, hoping to get a little warmer days so I can start doing some of the stuff that I want to the truck. Other than that,
For the listeners, what is
working.
Sorry, JR, I was just on one of the forums and I was reading something about how you wanted to create in the back of your truck a whole slam dance party where you had like a dance floor that folded out of the back of your truck with subwoofers and party.
Dude, that's like a kumquat or something, man. What are we talking about here, Dan?
I don't know. Is that not? Maybe that was somebody else, JR.
I know that. No, that's absolutely me. What I've been working on is a full stage production that unfolds from the back of my truck. It's all robotic, animated. It folds out completely from the bed. I have several subwoofers, and then I also have a Nordic death metal band that is sort of on cue. Comes out on stage that is developed from the bed of my truck. All folds out. Bam, pops up this Nordic death metal band. Throw down. Then, get this, Kanye shows up.
No, well, he'll interrupt, right? He'll just interrupt.
Kanye shows up. Kanye does death metal. You guys might not know that, but Kanye is really big in the death metal world. He's really big in Sweden, Finland, Yeah, he's the big deal in Sweden.
Metal.
That just sounds asinine to me, guys. I don't know. Is that going to be like a new factory option? Is that what we're claiming?
It's possible. Well, they
Should
do
be.
all these trick trucks for shows and stuff like that. So I'm sure JR over here is, he's making waves in the Nissan world.
Well, you don't get the name like the
Definitely.
legend without.
It's the dancing bed. I do the dancing bed. The hydraulic lift, and it lifts up, flips around, dances, and of course all the music and
Sick.
Sure. Any like stripper poles pop out of this thing?
That's in the cab of the truck. I have the stripper poles. I have two, one
VIP.
passenger, one driver's side. But
Remember,
they
Dave?
only really work for short people.
Yeah, Dave, you should.
Of the limited height in the cab.
Yeah, Dave, you remember when we were at Windrock, that big Nissan event, the Windrock?
I never heard of it.
When you
Never heard of it.
you go inside, you went inside of JR's truck, and because it's such a small area, you fit. So, and you were dancing on the stripper pole in his cab because you're a small dwarf-like man that fit in it.
And I was there, and I was there, right?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Were you
sure were.
You were there?
I
I wouldn't know, man. There were so many people there that I
Chicks.
had no idea of.
Hotties.
Tons of chicks
Chicks.
and tons of dwarfs.
Yeah.
Well,
So anyways,
chick
what's
dwarfs.
going on in the Nissan world, Dave?
before we lose all of these 5 listeners that we got, nothing much, guys. It's sad times for me. Might be sad times for a few of our listeners, but we'll get into that in a minute. We'll get our kumbaya out in here in a minute.
Yeah.
Dan, what I hear you've been attending some truck races, man. How's that going?
Yeah, no, I went to the Battle of Prim this last weekend, and it was sweet. They have this big dike jump. Please don't make any jokes, but it's a big jump, and literally everything from the Class 11 stock bug class to the trophy truck class are flying around this whole track, and it's a really great spectator area. So you can go and watch these trucks go flying 150, 200 feet over the jump, and there's an infield section. So we got to check that out. Big shout out to my buddy Joe Camus. He runs a 2086 truck. He ran really well all weekend. He placed second place in that race, and it was just a blast to watch.
Do you feel like this is getting your blood flowing for because you've got Mint race coming up, don't you?
Yeah, you know what? It was kind of. I went out there because I needed to get my fix because I am losing my mind. I got my race helmet. I should be getting my fire suit, my race suit here in a couple days, and I'll be. We are almost there. We're almost at the race line. It looks like we're third in line in our starting position, and I'm at a loss for words because I'm so excited for the Mint 400.
How do they determine your starting order? Is there, because I know nothing of like desert racing. How does that come about?
I really appreciate the questions, Dave. That I am very very short on answers for.
You sound like a pro race driver now.
I feel like I'm a pro, but when it comes to all the technologies. There's a way to do it, and apparently I just get the information from the main guy, Dave Blakely. He's a big deal when it comes down to real race truck driving. He sent me the race order. It looks like there's like 5 or 6 guys in our class. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more by the time all the entries are in, but that was the race order so far that I've seen.
Well, it sounds like my new host needs to be your buddy Dave here. He seems to know your truck better than you might know it. We better get him on here.
Yeah, we'll get him on here. We're gonna get some pre-race, post-race, mid-race stuff from him and me.
Satellite feed from it within the truck.
I'll be doing whatever I can, man. I got a microphone in my mouth while I'm racing in my helmet, so who knows?
There you go, buddy. I noticed on your Xterra performance stuff and your team Xterra racing page that y'all are starting to get some logos and stuff on the truck. It looks really good.
Yeah, we got the full logos on the door. We got I'm putting some logos on my truck. We're getting stickers made. We're getting all new shirts made for everybody that's donated on our GoFundMe account. So everybody that funds that account that's made at $20 or more donation, we're gonna be sending out a sweet shirt for them. We just finalized the shirt, so we're stoked to get everything done.
So if you donated $19, you don't get a T-shirt.
What about fees? I mean, does that include fee? Like if I give 20 and then they take fees out of that, what about that?
You still get a shirt.
Yeah.
Oh,
You still get a shirt. But if you donated like $16,
right? No shirt, man. You're not only
I think the
big...
wife and I sort of scrounched some money together, and I think we maybe
you're getting
donated like $4.30.
You're getting a shirt for sure, Dave. You're getting a shirt.
Aw, that's awful sweet of you, big guy.
It's because
cheapest
I love you
T-shirt
guys.
ever.
I love you guys heterally.
Aw.
In a I'd marry you in a straight way.
Can we group hug the monitors right now? Because I'm feeling a little kumbaya moment.
Guys, I'm gonna have to go.
Anyhow, what's up, Dave? What's going on in the Nissan world, man? I mean, I'm up to speed, but you got the download of the download, Dave. What's
That's
going
right.
on, man?
Well, let's do our little fake news here.
Here at the Nissan Nation podcast, well, we don't just report the news, we make it up.
Exactly. And I wish I was making this sad news up for the day. A couple of the online magazines are reporting that the Nissan Xterra is no longer after 2015. This is a sad day for me, as I've loved this truck for probably the whole 15 years that it's been in existence, and Nissan's crushing my dreams.
Yeah, I feel like I got a swift kick to the junk when I saw that. I want to say Edmunds broke the news first. And you know what? Normally it would be a total grundle party for the Nissan Xterra. For every year that it comes out, we just throw a big party when we see that one more year for the Xterra. But this was like a sad punch to the goot.
Well, it's been coming.
Cry a little bit.
Sadly, it's been coming for a long time. I think part of the savior for a few years of this thing was actually the Nissan partnership they had with Dodge Ram. They when Dodge Ram was going to build the Titan, the / Ram, supposedly that was the death day on Xterra and Frontier, from what I heard. And I guess when that partnership kind of went sour, it gave Nissan, they needed to make some money on the truck line. So they said, hey, let's just keep these things rolling. And it's kind of sad to me. The Xterra Gen 1 for year one sold like 88,000 vehicles. They were trying to crank them out as fast as they could. It was a hit. They quickly went to a Generation 2 after 4 years. I think the Xterra Gen 1 was based on the old truck line, the old Frontier line, which was from 97, 98, I believe, on. So by 2004, we need a bigger SUV, which
right.
Sadly to me, once all these cars, every generation, we got to go a little bigger. Like it was, kind of like what the Sentra is what the Altima is, and now look at it, man. It's twice the size as what the Maxima used to be.
Yeah, they've been growing. That's kind of how all the cars getting these days. Get a little fatter, a little wider. I mean, look at the Z. Exactly.
We're going to talk some Z here in a little bit. But sad days for me. That's one of the last body-on-frame vehicles. Nissan's neutered the Pathfinder, and now I guess instead of neutering the Xterra, they've decided to just make it no more. And of course, our federal government, gotta love them, pays some taxes to them this week. They, their CAFE regulations is really what's killing onto these vehicles. They, hey, you gotta meet certain standards, certain environmental standards, which I get. I think they're being a little extreme with it. Not everybody wants to drive a hybrid, but God willing, our government is going to force us to drive a hybrid the way it looks. And so Xterra is no more. I think the last probably two little comparable SUVs would be the Toyota 4Runner, which Toyota seems to be headstrong that they're not leaving that. That's a legacy truck for them, so they're not going to let that one go. And we're stuck with probably the Jeep JKU, the 4-door would be kind of comparable. I mean, obviously it's a different class of off-road SUV, but
Yeah, it's a sad vehicle to be comparing to the Xterra, I would say.
what really struck me with this, and I'll let you two guys comment on this, when I started looking at the numbers, and the last thing I read was, Xterra was only selling maybe 16,000 a year. You got to take in a couple things. They don't advertise really any of the truck line. Maybe they don't have to, maybe they do. But when the first Xterra came out, it was everything you need, nothing you don't. They went into the second generation Xterra, just guns a-blazing, all these commercials showing what this thing could do. You just throw your canoes or whatever on the roof. And then all of a sudden, by 2007, it disappeared. And it was like they really made up their mind back then and said, hey, this is we don't want to make this anymore, which is understandable. I know when you start looking at the profit margins on something, you compare Xterra to like Armada. Xterra's starting out at like 23,600. Armada's 38,000. Now, we all know in the vehicle world, there's not much more cost in that vehicle when you actually make it, the metal to metal, wire to wire, versus the two vehicles, but the profit margins. So Armada last year only sold 12,500 vehicles, Xterra 16,000. That's just not enough to make up the difference. Then you look at, this neutered Pathfinder. They're selling 79,000 of those last year. So obviously these car manufacturers, they have hit something with these CUV type vehicles. Nissan, God bless them, they seem to love them. They've got Juke, Rogue, Murano, Pathfinder, Armada. I mean, how many more of these vehicles do we need like that? Yeah. So, JR, what are your impressions? I know you're a Frontier guy, and obviously I don't really think the Frontier is going anywhere, especially with GM bringing the Colorado back. So, what do you think of the body-on-frame SUVs, man, the dinosaurs they are?
Well, one, I mean, it's really a sad day that the Xterra is going away. There's not going to be any more new ones made. But I kind of feel like maybe everybody's kind of, the Xterra's going away a little too much, because there are still a ton of Xterras out there. There are still a ton of Xterra enthusiasts, and those things aren't going anywhere anytime soon. Dave, right. You yourself, you're driving, a 2000 with over 100,000 miles on the
250,000.
Say that?
250,000, buddy.
Whew. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I didn't want to go too high, but yeah, I knew you had a lot of miles on it. There are a lot of people that still run earlier, older Xterras with, 100, 200,000 miles on it. They're solid vehicles. They're, as long as you take care of it, it's not going to go anywhere. So while it is sad that they're not making any more new ones, that's pretty much 15 and that's it. But as far as my experience goes, I'm still going to be interacting with Xterra owners a lot on a usual basis.
Well, that's good to know that the Frontier guy is not going to kick us to the curb just yet.
Not yet. Give us a little bit of time, and maybe things will change, because we're pretty snobby.
Well, you must be, because I think each year the Frontier, we'll ramble with this just a minute. Each year the Frontier, strangely enough, keeps increasing in sales. I think last year it was at 70,000 they sold, which was crazy, because I remember when I worked for Nissan only a few years ago, they were hitting just 40,000 or so of those a year. So I don't know if it's all these little trucks that have just disappeared, or maybe finally the styling of that Frontier is hit, but it's selling. So we got to give it to you guys.
It's weird. It's when I first got my truck, I did not see many Frontiers on the road. Now everybody says that, I bought my car, I didn't see a lot of these other ones on the road, and then now I see them all the time. But no, I had researched the Frontier before I bought mine for almost a year before I actually bought it. And in that period of time, I didn't see a lot of them on the road. I bought mine, and within the first year, I immediately just started seeing bam, 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 Frontier all over the road. So at least in this area, I've been seeing a lot more Frontiers than I used to.
Right.
So I'm definitely not complaining about that. Middle Tennessee is not an incredibly active area for
let's back
Frontier enthusiasts.
Let's back up for a second here. Middle Tennessee is not an active area for anything
moonshine
worthwhile.
We like moonshine.
I would say Middle Tennessee is more like a area that's inactive and worth less than the
Let me tell you about Tennessee.
The lint I pick out of my belly button when I take my shirt off.
Wow, Dan. Wow,
Hey, bro.
we really going
we
north
don't want to
south?
go there, do we,
Bruh.
You're being hella rude, hella disrespectful right now, bruh.
Oh my God. Totes my goats.
Sorry, guys. You guys were rambling there about Nissans for about.
Well, I know we'll wrap this up with the Xterra, but it is a sad day. I really think there is a market. There is a market for that. Jeep wouldn't be selling 100,000 JKs if there wasn't a market for it. I just think that Nissan, like most of the auto manufacturers, they just don't want to find that little niche market for it. And hey, they've got a dozen cars, a dozen CUVs now. Why do you need a dinosaur SUV? And along with that, let's see. Let me ask you guys a question. What do you think their largest selling vehicle was last year?
I would say it would be the Maxima.
Murano. I said Murano.
Out of all the cars Nissan manufactures, you think those are the choices? Well, let's show them what they haven't won, boys. Actually, let's see. The top three are Altima, which is no surprise. I think Altima, they sold, what was it, 200, over 200,000 of that last year. I think second on that list would be the new Rogue. Rogue sold 199,000. Which is ridiculous. Based kind of on the same platform, so it kind of makes sense. Somebody wants just a little taller vehicle. And next is Xterra. I would have never guessed that Xterra was this popular, but it sold nearly 170,000 vehicles last year.
Yeah, new Xterra's pretty solid looking little car. It's
the new
kind
one
of the
does
go-to.
look
I mean, it's right up there with the Civic. I mean, it battles with the Civic, for sales and stuff. It's the same deal, different automaker.
Yeah.
And if I was a young lad, and I wanted to demasculate myself, I there's a possibility that I would want to buy myself a little vehicle that got amazing mileage. I would possibly look at the Xterra for driving to and from college events.
Mm-hmm. I think what's crazy is I think up across the board, except for maybe Xterra and Armada, they everything was up double digits for sales percentage wise. They whatever the styling is, Nissan's really found it, and I think people are taking with it, which is exciting. Maybe they're gonna continue this Armada, and maybe it'll be some kind of off-road beast. Probably be a little too large for what we like doing, but maybe there's still an SUV four-wheel drive in Nissan's future. So let's see, what else did I find on the interwebs this week? Nissan Z. Lots of Z news out there right now. The current one has been out since, I believe, 2002, maybe 2003. I'd have to actually do some research on that one. It's time for a change. The 350Z lasted till about 2008. Then they put a bigger motor in it, couple plush features, and called it the 370Z. Now 370Z has been out, 2008, 7 years or so. It is time for a refresh on that thing. And I've read a couple things. You can take this two different ways. They've got the people that in Nissan that want to compete with Porsche. They want to compete with BMW. Well, sadly, the current bloated Z is it's in an odd market. You got to start getting into $50,000 and $60,000 price range for the Z. Z has always been an entry-level sports car. I mean, you look at the old 240s, the 280s, it was super affordable for a young guy or a girl that wanted to go fast to get one of those. I think the 240, when it came out, it rivaled Porsche and a lot of high-end automakers for the performance of the thing. Well, the report I read is Nissan wants to make it small again, which I can see. It's currently pretty bloated, especially the convertible models. They just feel super fat and wide. So they're talking about going down to a 4-cylinder in this thing, which strikes me a little odd, especially if you're wanting to play into this $50,000-$60,000 price range. I don't think you guys would want to buy a Corvette with a 4-cylinder. I know I wouldn't. What about you, JR?
Well, is it a turbo 4-cylinder?
Well, that's funny you say that, because that they're talking about putting in this Infiniti and this Mercedes in the partnership they're doing. And rumor has it they would like to put this little engine into the Z, which, I mean, if it's turbo and a lot smaller than what it is, man, I can see it. But the numbers that I'm seeing are like 280 horsepower. The current Z is, I think, 325, 327. I don't know about you guys, but usually when I buy a sports car, I don't want to see it go down in numbers. What about you, Dan?
Well, my perspective, I mean, I'm always about power to weight ratio. So you get a car that's half the size and a little bit lower in power. I'm not immediately going to be like, oh, that's lame. I want to see something that's balanced correctly, because when it comes to horsepower, it's it's all relative. How much horsepower is in how big of a car? Is it balanced correctly? So it's going to come down to how does it perform on a track? How does it drive? So I want to see something that's a real sports car that's balanced correctly, that has the braking setup, that you mash on that pedal and that goes. It doesn't just lose its back end and go spinning in circles. So that's kind of my perspective on it. I don't mind a little bit of a drop in horsepower if it's if it's a real sports car and it's been engineered correctly.
But do you think that most younger people are going to understand that? I mean, I think your true tuner guys are going to kind of understand it. But people that don't know, people that are maybe new into the sports car world, are they going to? There's a heritage with Z. I mean, Z has an astounding heritage. It's Fairlady in Japan, and it's just Z here.
Yeah.
They I don't know, it's just like turning the clock backwards maybe. I know Nissan seems to be with the IDX, they're trying to do some retro styling, and maybe the IDX was kind of a hint of what the next Z could be, but I
think it's going to come down to someone doing a test drive, because when it comes down to it, a car with 700 horsepower and a car with 300 horsepower can feel the same on as long as you have the right balance, the right weight ratio. You put a 700 horsepower motor in a giant jalopy and it's not going to feel like a a tiny little race car. I mean, Mini proved that with their little Cooper S-Works cars.
Mm-hmm.
They feel twice as fast as they actually are because they're so small and fast, and I mean they're shooting around corners and stuff like that.
Right.
So I think it's going to come down to what it feels like to drive it, and I think that's kind of like the key when you go and drive a car. I would never suggest. Just the other day, somebody was asking me, should I, what kind of car should I buy? And I said, go drive a Z. You'll be blown away by how fast they feel, how good they handle, how balanced it is, the braking, and whether or not someone reads how many horsepower a car has and decides I'm not even going to go look at it. I think that's too quick of something to look at.
Well, to me, what might really hurt this next generation Z is your riders. I know they understand the cars, but they write about it, and that's going to come up of, hey, you've had over 300 horsepower V6, now you're going to this little 4-cylinder that might hit 300. What are they going to write about it? But it's all hearsay right now. This I'm expecting to see the next Z pop up at the Tokyo Auto Show.
Right.
I'll get my airplane ticket. I'll be over there and I'll get some pictures for us.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Zoom
fly right out there.
But what they're also toying with is doing a 4-cylinder that might be a hybrid. And hybrid technology in sports cars is coming on strong. I think the next GTR is rumored to be a hybrid. Instant with the electric motors, it's just instant torque. It's instant takeoff, and then you can let that little engine kick in. And I could see that maybe more than just a little 4-cylinder turbo.
Yeah, that I was a BMW mechanic for a while, and BMW came out with I want to say it was like a 750 horsepower hybrid or something ridiculous like that. I mean, it had like a V8 with, I think it was what was it? X6, and it was like ridiculous. It was ridiculous, and it got like 20 miles per gallon. But they add a couple hundred horsepower and electric motors in the transmission, and it's a whole different beast, and it's a whole different way of looking at vehicles.
Right.
So there's tons of opportunities there, and I don't think you should look at a hybrid. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would like to take the designer of the Prius and throttle him with my fingernails.
I bet Toyota would too. All the ones they've sold.
But don't get me wrong, hybrids don't. You can't just say, "Oh, it's a hybrid," and throw it into the trash. It's one of those things you gotta see it and understand what it is, because you could take a hybrid and Tesla are amazing vehicles these days with a motor driven hybrid kind of vehicle. You could make a fast car, ridiculous fast car, and still have some decent MPGs going on.
Dan, Tesla is all battery, buddy.
I know. I'm saying they make they make fast cars. They make ridiculous fast cars. But I'm saying it's kind of like the middle ground, I would say.
Right. No. I guess I'm just a little old school with that. I want as much. I honestly came from kind of that old school Camaro background, man. It just seemed to be all horsepower and go as fast as you can straight. And I guess I'm just that grumpy old man. Better stay off my lawn hybrid. And I want to. That's
the difference between Middle Tennessee and Southern California.
Look so cowboy. But I think Nissan they're looking to do away with the V6 is kind of what I'm hearing. Once again, these cafe regs, man, they're just killing all the fun out of cars. And the current V6, the little 3.5 they're using in the Altimas and Maximas, and the 3.7s they're using in the Zs, I guess it's just a little thirsty. I know in my 2004 G35, I can average 21 highway easily in that thing, and I've averaged up to 25. So coming from the off-road world, that's my hybrid. I'm like, holy cow, this is awesome. But I guess these new cars, man, standards are for the manufacturers is 30 miles a gallon. So I guess probably hybrid would be the best option for that.
Yeah.
So let's see, guys. I got some other sad news. Speaking of the Z, I'm not going to even try to pronounce his name because I'll just destroy it. And, Lord knows I destroy a podcast how they are. But the founder of the Z, or I guess the father of the Z, had passed away this past week. And Mr. K. And I know he hasn't been active with Nissan really since the 70s, late 70s, I think is when he's retired, but he's always had kind of a hand in the next generation cars. It'd be sad to see the next Z not with his initials on it somehow, his footprint on it. The guy was a rock star. We have Carroll Shelby and those guys here. In Japan, it was Mr. K, man. So we want to give a little quick moment of silence to that man, and we'll include the Xterra in that just because I want to cry.
I want to cry for that moment of silence too. You just let me know when to cry.
All right, guys. I'm going to pull together for us. Dan, I'm sorry, buddy.
It was so unexpected, too, at 105 years old.
Right? I was taken aback.
Who would expect a 10-year-old design would be canceled? So, let's kind of properly introduce Mr. JR Carey. I've known JR for, I guess, a couple years now. Got to know JR through the Xterra Frontier world. In turn, JR helps me now with Windrock. And then we can turn, and last year, Dan got to meet JR. And
yeah, I touched JR inappropriately on multiple occasions.
It was a world-changing event for Mr. Gruders.
Right.
So we
you were saying in the pre-show.
So JR, give us a little background on you, man. How did you become a Nissan guy, or what brought you to us, man?
Well, I've always been a Nissan fan. I remember back in the day, I had a friend who had a 280, and 280 Datsun.
What?
That we loved taking around on these old gravel back roads that this rear-wheel drive car with just a lot of power, just so much fun. And we would take turns driving it on these roads just to see who could get it the most sideways. Fast forward several years, I didn't own a Nissan until my current vehicle, which is my 2012 Frontier.
Which I need to apologize. I misquoted last week and called it a 2010 or 11. I apologize, sir.
It's okay. It's mostly the same. It's very, very similar. So yeah, I was looking for a nice off-road capable vehicle. I've always been a car guy, but knew that I wanted to dabble. I wanted to get off-road. I wanted to play around a lot. I'm an outdoor guy, so I knew this was something I wanted to get into.
The beard
so
explains
I started
that.
checking out trucks.
The beard.
Say it again?
The beard explains all that outdoor talk, then.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get a picture of JR up on the...
It all makes sense now. Full circle, right?
The madman JR. We'll get a picture up and some bio on him. Go ahead, JR. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. No, I wanted a truck. I wanted to be able to throw stuff in the back. And so I started looking at vehicles, and it just so happened that with the company my wife used to work at, I could get a VPP discount through Nissan. Made it all the more better, and it just sort of worked out. I've been looking at them for a while. Like I said earlier, I researched these things for almost a year before I actually bought it. And then I started going around looking at different dealerships, and then I found this one that, you know, it's not that it was an incredibly hard to find Frontier, but it was just the way it sat in the light, it was sort of perfect. You know, the light hits it, and the angels sing from above.
It's a
It was
black
one of those moments.
It's a black Frontier, man. There's no angels.
No.
You got it.
No.
No, you got it because you wanted to put people in the back of it and throw them into ditches.
Yes.
I'm not disputing that, but there was some angelic activity that happened that evening. And it was night. It was dark.
So you're saying your
hitting it.
vehicle is bequeathed to you from the Lord himself?
I'm not going to make assumptions, but I really feel that God did intervene in this in some way.
The Big Bang happened, and there it was.
Yeah, the Big Bang. And
No,
that's what I call my truck now. Is the Big Bang.
That's
Nice.
for all that poontang, boys.
No, I just, I wanted a Nissan Frontier. I determined probably 6 months before I actually bought it that, okay, cool, Frontier, that's what I wanted. Believe it or not, I actually looked at a taco. Yeah, and then decided Frontier, that's the way I wanted to go. I went, worked out with the dealership. Perfect. It was a sweet deal. I got a really good deal on it, and I have not been happier since. I have owned it for going on 3 years now, and still to this day, every day when I'm walking in to work from the parking lot, I'll stop, turn around, look at it, maybe give it a wink. You know that, hey girl, I see you.
I've been there. I've been there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those. I'm very much in love with my truck. My wife is incredibly jealous.
Poor
Sick.
Stacy. Poor Stacy.
Sick.
Yeah, poor Stacy. I know. But no, and just once I got my truck, I knew that I wanted to take it off road. I didn't know exactly what I was going to get myself into. I started, doing the Googling and researching and looking around, and started finding all these different websites, and I stumbled across the Xterra Nation. Well, actually, I think it was Southeast Xterra that I found, because they were local to me, and they started having all these ride events that, I'm like, hey, I can, tag along with these guys and go wheeling with a couple other Nissans,
Sure.
like-minded individuals that just want to get out and tear stuff up in the dirt. That's how I found Mr. David Boyd.
Aw.
And it all went downhill from there.
It
David
really
Boyd
has,
was
and-
showing up outside your windows in the middle
I'm
of
doing
lovemaking sessions.
Podcasts.
Yeah, he had binoculars, and dude, JR, if I had a
He's a
penny
little
for every
creep.
time David showed up with a binocular set, and I was like, Dave, I'm gonna go down to the courthouse and get us a restraining order.
What really
I mean,
creeps me out is his incessant use of fanny packs.
Oh, fanny packs. If I had a penny for every, I mean, we could fill his fanny pack with every penny that I had for every time I saw him cruising around with in the gecko pants. I mean, Dave has an affinity for gecko pants and fanny packs. I mean, it's just a weird
Gecko
thing.
pants, fanny packs, and kumquat martinis.
Wow. Wow. I need to meet this guy sometime. He sounds like a really cool guy.
He's an interesting cat.
Hey, like I've said before, either you love him or you hate him, buddy.
That's true.
So how long did it take you before you were like, man, I've got to make this truck bigger and badder?
Well, I mean, I had the thought immediately, but it took me, I guess it took me about 9 months before I actually did anything. And then that was, I just went cheap because I knew I wanted to lift it just a little bit. Got a spacer lift for it, lifted it 2 inches. I put some 33-inch KM2s on it, some BFG KM2s. And then as soon as I put that 2 inches on it, I was like, you know what? I really want 2 more.
Man, this sounds like a date.
That's like a day every day of my life.
Man, it sounds like you've been talking to my wife.
Yeah. Hey.
So
no. So I put the suspension lift on it one weekend, and then by the next weekend, I was putting a body lift on it.
Wow.
And suspension lift, or lift wise, that's where it's at now. It's just the 2-inch coil spacers in the front, 1-inch block in the back, 2-inch body lift on top of that.
Right.
Currently working on parts and piecing together the equipment needed for a full-on Titan swap, but that's going to be probably next year or so.
Easy over there, Dan. Easy over there, buddy. I know that gets you excited.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, he's drooling over my money. I know it right now.
I was just thinking how I need to take the Xterra apart and move my Titan stuff over to the my Frontier.
Oh.
Or you could just sell it to me for dirt cheap. I mean, no big deal.
Whatever.
I'm just saying.
Whatevs. I mean, really, come on.
Well, that we're definitely glad to have you along for the ride. And for the listeners that have heard the first 3 shows, if you've heard music on this show, that is our talented Mr. JR.
He's a rapper.
He is.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
What?
Wiki, wow.
Wow. The samplings of Mr. Carey there. Well, we are definitely glad to have you be our number 3, our Trace here. Let's get to our interview. We got an interview tonight with the Texas Nissan Truck Meet. Let's see how them boys down there do.
Some good old boys. Let's talk to those characters.
Yeah. All right, tonight we got the guys with the Texas Nissan Truck Meet. We got Mr. Jim and Mr. Steven on the line. How's it going, guys?
Very well.
Good. Tell us, can you guys kind of give us a little outline about your meet and what do y'all do?
Sure, yeah. This is our 8th annual event. It's in Texas. We try to hold it in a central location in the middle of Texas someplace that as many people can come as possible. It's not limited to any of the platforms. It's where we say any Nissan truck can come. The event's held in April 24th through the 26th. It's a family event, so kids are welcome too. We have all kinds of sponsors lined up that I'm sure Jim can talk about, but that's the basic general gist of it.
Cool.
Can you give us a little bit what to expect for people that may have not heard of this before?
Sure. It's an all-weekend event. We start on Friday evening. We line up in a caravan out to dinner on Friday night. On Saturday, we play all kinds of games and stuff like that with everybody. And then we have truck competitions that afternoon. We do a sound competition. Everybody votes for the cleanest truck, the dirtiest truck, that kind of a thing. So we have different awards and everything that evening, and we have another big meal that night.
Right.
Cool.
Do y'all? You said you had sponsors. Do y'all do some kind of raffle or anything, or?
We do all kinds of raffles, actually. Jim heads up our marketing and promotions, and he does all that for us. But they have several raffles that we do. We also have a silent auction that we do. lots of donated items from our various sponsors and everything that we auction off in a silent auction. So
what brought this meet together? Can you give us a little bit of background on it?
Yeah, it originated as a group of Titan owners in Houston, and they started getting people from all over the state to come down to Houston for the event. So they decided to make it a weekend event, and that's when they started holding it in Belton. So that's kind of how it started. Robin and Jody Bracewell were the ones that actually originated the event, and they sold their Nissan and bought a Dodge, unfortunately. But anyway, they handed it over to me, and I've kind of taken it and been running it for about 4 years now. So.
Right.
Very cool.
What kind of vehicles do you guys drive?
I'm in a 2012 Titan Pro 4X.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in a 2011 Titan SV 4x4.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's mine. It's really my wife's. I bought it for her.
Oh, I understand that. I have an Xterra just like that. I wanted it and she got it. So, so it sounds like the Titan is big in Texas. I'm assuming, just like the whole phrase is, everything's bigger in Texas. I'm assuming you guys love them big full size trucks, right?
Absolutely.
So what do you guys think of this new XD that Nissan's bringing out?
I think it's great. I'm probably one of their target audience for it. I pull a 30-foot travel trailer behind my Pro 4X and probably stretching the limitations on it. So the XD would be right up my alley to be able to solve a lot of towing issues, maybe even get a little bit better gas mileage.
Yeah, I'm assuming that the current Titan doesn't get very friendly MPGs as is. So I'm guessing add a diesel to that and some extra towing, and that's going to help you a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm in a lifted Titan. I'm like Steven. I pull a 30-foot bumper pull camper trailer, and I get all of about 8 miles a gallon on a good day.
About the same here.
Right. So you're driving a Lamborghini mileage in a big full size truck, basically.
Yeah. I'm really hoping that this XD, that its torque numbers, once somebody buys one and puts it on a dyno, I'm hoping those torque numbers are well into the 400s.
Right.
If they are, I'm definitely going to be getting me one.
Right. What other kind of vehicles shows up to your event? Do you have like Xterras and Frontiers and stuff too? Hard bodies maybe?
Pretty much everything. We don't limit it to any of the platforms. It's all of them show up. We've had Pathfinders show up. We've had the Xterras. We had a guy that actually was going to the Moab run the following week after our meet last year.
Mm-hmm.
But he was in a decked out Xterra. There's a couple of Frontiers that came. We've got several Armadas that come every year. We've got one that's a lifted Armada. It's just absolutely beautiful.
We have a Sentra that shows up.
Really? A Sentra?
Nissan Sentra. We had a Nissan Quest show up. Let's see, what else have we had to show up?
Yeah, we are a brand loyal.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's better than any Nissan event that I've ever been to. If you got a Quest showing up, you're doing something right.
I post on all Nissan forums, anything from Nissan Zs to the Leaf and to Infinity forums. I posted on all Nissan forums, so we're inviting any and everybody to come on out.
Right. Well, I mean, you live in a huge state. They're very brand loyal, it seems, in your state. So I would think you guys would definitely get like the Leafs guys want to come out. I mean, I guess they're their own little clique, but it would be awesome to see a few Leafs sitting out there.
That would be cool. They're welcome to come too.
It looks like you guys really have quite a few really great sponsors on here. I see Niztec lifts, Flowmaster, NFAB. I mean, there's 4x4 parts, Castrol, Diodynamics. I mean, there's a load of great sponsors on here. You guys get a lot of really good products that you're going to be giving away for the raffles and the silent auctions and stuff.
Absolutely. Our sponsors are so generous that last year they were extremely generous to the tune of nearly $10,000 worth of products that we either gave away or sold in our silent auction or was raffled off. Our sponsors are extremely generous. This year, I I'm getting everything shipped straight to Steven, so our logistics are a little bit off. So I don't know what all is there, but I have no doubt that our sponsors are going to be just as generous this year as they were last year.
I'll put it this way: my dining room is filling up with boxes. So
like
that's
Christmas.
I want to say right now.
Christmas for truck owners.
So after this podcast, I expect to be contacted so that I can fill your living room up just a little bit more.
Absolutely. I'll be contacting you almost immediately.
Well, literally immediately. So, when I'm assuming you guys have a registration up?
Yes, we do. We've got several different ways to do it. We've got a Facebook page. We've got a website. We're on literally all Nissan forums.
Awesome.
The easiest way to do it is going through PayPal, and you can do it directly through texastitanmeet@gmail.com, or you can go to our website, which is www.texasnissanTruckMeet.wix.com/home, and go to our registration page, and we got buttons there. So just click for registration.
Okay. Would Facebook be the quickest way to get a hold of you guys if they had questions?
Absolutely. I monitor that thing 24/7. If you ding my phone at 3:00 in the morning, I'm answering it.
My wife would kill me for that one.
Good to know.
So JR, you got any questions for these guys?
I'm looking at the webpage and they've got the Friday night caravan. I was curious about the caravan. Like, what is that all about? How long do you go? What sort of caravan in it? What do you caravan by?
Well, what we do is we line up all the trucks. We have a loop in the camping area where we're staying at, and we line up all the trucks around this big loop inside the camping area. And once everybody's lined up, we head out at a certain time. We drive from the campsites out to Belton Lake, go across the dam, and then through downtown Belton, all in a big old line. You can imagine all these Nissans.
Sounds awesome.
Huge line. And then we go to a restaurant that has yet to be determined for this year, but we go to a restaurant and have dinner together. And it's a kind of our kickoff evening, basically, our dinner to introduce everybody, and everybody knows what to expect. We give out the itineraries, and so everybody knows what to expect and everything. So that's what the caravan is.
Well, that's pretty cool.
And it's not a have to. If people can't make it Friday by 6:00, we perfectly understand, because everybody's got to work. You can still get your itinerary if you show up Saturday morning. You can still get all the goodie bags and stuff Saturday morning. You don't have to be there on Friday. It is just a good way to start people to introducing themselves to each other. And if you can make it out there, the caravan is a sight to see.
That's cool. It's sort of like your first meet and greet.
Yes.
Exactly.
You're also driving.
Yeah.
What other? You mentioned. I believe you mentioned some games or something. I heard something about you guys have a bunch of games, kind of, and trophies and stuff on I believe it's Saturday. Can you elaborate on what you guys got going for that stuff?
Yeah, we do all kinds of games on Saturday morning. We don't try to get up too early, but anyway. Anyway, we do some games and everything for the truck owners, just like relay races and trivia games and that kind of a thing. And then about lunchtime, we break for lunch. And then that afternoon, we do a sound competition for everybody that wants to enter their trucks for an audio competition. We have all the owners can vote for who they think has the cleanest truck, the dirtiest truck, the best in show, the most unique modification to their trucks, that kind of a thing. And then we do a dinner on Saturday night, and we award the winners of those events with awards.
Cool.
Then,
what determines the winner of the audio competition? Is it sort of people just vote on it sort of thing, or you guys actually break out an SPL meter and measure decibels?
Every owner gets a ballot, and then that owner then has the chance to write down which truck they believe had the best in these categories. So everybody gets a number. Every owner gets a vote. So it's the owners of the vehicles that are voting on each other's vehicles.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool.
Yeah, that way we don't have like 5 judges that are from North Texas that only like North Texas style trucks. It's everybody. Everybody.
Does that seem to be a thing with Texas being such a large state? It's like 5 states in one. Is it very territorial like that?
Yeah.
At times it is, yes.
Really? Is it? I've spent some time in Dallas, and I really love that area, and I want to visit Austin sometime. But I would really think like it's just like 5 different cultures kind of mixed in one, and like the cultures might combine and pick their buddies.
Yeah, you get that because there's a following in San Antonio that's really big, and then you have a pretty large Dallas following, and of course this all originated from a huge Houston following. So it's, I mean, yeah, there's different little cliques. I mean, they're buddies down in Houston, they're buddies in San Antonio, and of course we're all buddies up here in Dallas. So yeah, but it's cool.
You guys
separated out that way with them voting for who they think has whatever for what event.
Yeah. Do you guys ever get anybody from out of state, or is it just all Texas guys?
Oh, yeah. And that's really funny because the past from Oklahoma last year we had a new record. We actually had somebody come from California.
Wow.
So,
they were one of our sponsors. It was Tire Tow Incorporated. They drove 2 days to get out there and then ended up sleeping in their vehicle one night just come play with us.
Nice.
It's definitely on these events. It's definitely nice when you can get a sponsor to come out and kind of participate with you. So that's awesome.
Well, and that's one great thing that we have.
Yeah, a lot of our sponsors are actually somewhat local. Some of our larger sponsors, not all of them, but some of our larger sponsors are members that have been attending for years. One in particular is Over the Edge 4-Wheel Drive. He's actually out of San Antonio, and he has been one of our largest donors for several years. So it's really neat to have not only them show up, but they're also Nissan owners. So
yeah, that's very cool. I know as a sponsor of different events that I do or whatever, that's probably the best part about my job is being able to get out to events and meet the people. I call them customers technically, but really they're more than like buddies, that I've been wheeling with before. The more I can wheel with guys or hang out with them and drink beers, it's a good time, and that way you can kind of understand what's going on out there and what people want and stuff. So I think it's super cool if sponsors go out and they can attend events, and that way you can see if they're actual enthusiasts or if they're just kind of throwing money out to hopefully catch a dollar here and there.
Absolutely.
Jeff Nash with Cajun Bee Pops, he also works as a EMT, I believe, and his job keeps him busy. But for the past 3 years, he's been trying to get out to our meet. Hopefully this year's the meet. Mike with UpRev, he says that he might be able to get out here. Last year he was supposed to bring up his souped up juke, but I think it ended up burning out a turbo right before the meet, so he didn't get it.
Yeah, nobody wants a half-done juke showing up to a truck meet.
Screaming Lizard's another one we can mention.
Absolutely. Screaming Lizards with Grubbs Auto. They are a fantastic sponsor. They are a custom shop out of Bedford, Texas that do miracles with Titans and Xterras and Jeeps. They put on all kinds of great lifts and neat trinkets and toys all over those things.
Right.
They've brought out vehicles for the past 3 years as well.
It's cool. It's cool to, the enthusiasm that you guys put, in your excitement for your sponsors. There's some of these events that just don't really care. They're just gathering stuff and they kind of act asinine and just they're just looking for product, man. It seems like you guys really, really love the products that you're bringing out, and which just translates, if you're excited about it, the people that you bring in are excited about it, and it just, in turn, it just helps your sponsors, and that's what we really, that's the kind of things we want to promote on the show is people that, we want sponsorship on the show. I'm not going to lie, but we want people like you that say, hey man, this little mom and pop shop or this big like UpRev or somebody, they're awesome. They worked with us, and we just really, really love hearing all that. So, kind of to take us on the last train home. It's April 24th through 26th. Is that correct?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, and it's at Cedar Ridge Park, I guess.
Cedar Ridge Park in Belton, Texas. It's at the Turkey Roost Group campsite.
Okay, and give us those websites once again.
Okay, the website that you can go to register is www.texasnissantruckmeet.wix.com/home. It's much easier just to use the Googler and type in Texas Nissan Truck Meet, and you'll have the first or second hit will be there. That'll take you straight to our website. There's a registration button on there that you can go to, and that has buttons for registration. It's $25 for Saturday only. It's $35 for a tent spot and $45 for an RV spot, and that's for all 3 days. So if you're going to come for all 3 days and not camp at the site, you're going to get a motel or something in Belton or in Killeen, then it's just a Saturday only fee, so that'd be $25 only. You can also find us on Facebook, which is facebook.com/Texas Nissan Truck Meet. We're also on Instagram at Texas Nissan Truck Meet. And we're on TitanTalk.com, ClubTitan.com, ClubArmada.com. You type in any online forum that's Nissan related. We are there, and we're probably going to be in the region area.
Well, good. It was really nice speaking with you guys tonight, and maybe after your event we can get you guys back on and just kind of give us the lowdown of how it went.
Absolutely.
We appreciate the invitation.
Right.
Yeah, but really appreciate Steve and Jim. I will be in touch with you because I am absolutely interested in checking this event out and sponsoring you guys. I think it sounds like an awesome event. I literally just clicked the follow button on Instagram because I'm not following you, but I am now. So I will be keeping in touch with you fellas.
Fantastic.
That's great. Outstanding.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
I own a company called Xterra Performance. We specialize in selling off-road Nissan stuff. And I started driving a Nissan Xterra.
So that was the Texas Nissan Truck Meet, guys. Sounded like a good group of guys. If you are around that area, middle Texas area, April 24th through 26th, give them a shout. Be sure to check their Facebook page out. That sounds like the best way to get a hold of them. They'll answer any questions. They just really sound like, I don't know these guys. It's kind of that's a new thing for us interviewing. Most of the time I kind of know these people. Seem like a really bunch of cool guys, Mr. Steven and Jim there. So still, once again, we're always looking for that elusive Godzilla. We
GTR, baby.
Yeah, baby. We itching to, I want to talk some GTR badly. So hopefully Mr. JR Carey over there, aka Carl, will join us next time.
Yeah, okay, maybe we'll talk about it.
All right. So let's see. I guess that's it, Dan. I think that's show number 4, buddy.
Toast is done.
From Grumpy Dan to Carl Carey over there. I want to say,
Anybody over here like toast?
this is the Nissan Nation, and we are out. Yeah, baby.